I was in a hurry to be doing something. And that's what a lot of you are doing. You watch a couple videos, whether it be mine or someone else's, and you think you saw this before, and you go into the chart and you're looking for something that resembles what you think you've learned in one or two videos. And then you push a button, and then you're shocked at the results not being what you expected. That's doing it wrong. My children have messed around in paper trading and demo accounts doing the same thing. It's normal. It's normal. You wanted to be able to sit down, watch a video or two, and then go in there and be able to find something that banks, investment firms, big, huge trading entities are in here running roughshod over everybody with. And you think you're going to watch a couple ICT videos or anybody else's bullshit and walk out there and push a couple buttons, and all of a sudden all this starts falling in your hands and you're rich now? Man, I've never taught that. I've never taught that at all. I have been the largest opponent to that shit than anybody else on YouTube. That's what makes me boring, because I'm not out there being that flashy person and telling you, do this, do that. I'm telling you, be fucking boring. Be boring, get 25 pips a week. 25 pips a week. If you can do that, you can make a lot of money if you're consistent. You can make that whatever you want it to be. But you can still lose your ass aiming for that 25 pips a week. If you are not diligent, if you don't know what you're doing, if you're reckless, if you're a gambler at heart, you'll do that. But if you go through that 2022 mentorship properly once more, and you find consistency, and maybe you get funded, and now you're taking withdrawals from that funded account and you're getting paid. I have students all around the world that are reporting that. They're bringing their receipts, they're showing you on their own social media accounts and sending it to me on my Twitter. Young man went to number 2 spot on the FTMO leaderboard, 70 grand. That's results, folks. That's not contrived. That's not paper trading. That's to me, that's awesome. I'm thoroughly impressed. Okay. But there's a lot of other folks that get these smaller little victories that just want to stay quiet and private. And they're not obligated to share their fucking experiences with you. Just like I'm not obligated to do shit for you either. But I love doing it. I love it. But I'm not obligated to any of you. And when you start making money and you see these people trolling what you've learned, you're not fucking obligated to share anything with these people. These people are miserable. They're miserable, or they're competitors and they're just getting their asses kicked by what I'm doing, which is both entertaining. But if you go through that 2022 mentorship and you're consistent and you want to increase your understanding, what's the next logical step in learning? Go through the core content. It's a lot. It is a lot. But because you have that model to work with, you'll be able to respect and understand better where those concepts could be plugged in and where others may not even be of any interest to you. You do not, let me underscore this and preface it before I go any further. You do not need core content lessons. That model, I have made now more private mentorship students consistent and profitable by sharing that publicly. And they went through several years of mentorship with me because they were trying to do everything. They're trying to place all these tools in the proper sequence. There isn't a sequence where you put all these things in the right place. Now, there's a way of leaning on certain approaches to, like, for instance, commitment traders. Okay, that's a long-term tool for intermediate-term trading. It's useful in that regard. Could you use it as a backup or a confluence for your day trades and you're trading only in that direction? Sure, there's nothing wrong with that. Do I need it? Fuck no. You don't need it either. SMT, I try to look for that in every single trade, but I don't demand it. If it doesn't exist in the trade, I'm not going to be afraid to still take it. I'm going to still take the trade if I see that there's a reason for it to go to a specific point of liquidity. If I know where the draw liquidity is and I'm in there at the right time of the day and I know everything's on my side and they've already worked the opposite end of liquidity If they've taken buy side and I know they're going to be reaching for and counterparting with the sell side, then I'm going to take the trade. If I see a bearish breaker, if I see a institutional order flow entry drill, which is a partial tap into a fair value gap, you're all wanting to know, well, when does a fair value gap close and when is it left open? That's what charter members learned. You're not entitled to that. So that's the reason why I don't answer a lot of your questions from core content. That's the reason why core content videos have the comment section turned off, because I don't owe you those answers. Okay, but I did share those videos to keep people from wanting to buy them from other people scamming and frauding. But they are useful to you if you have an understanding about what it is you're trying to do. And that 2022 mentorship model is the nuts and bolts to going out there and making ends meet. Can you turn into a millionaire with it? I personally believe you can. Can you blow your account and lose money? Yep. If you break every rule I've shown in that, yes, you will. If you follow every rule in there, but you do poor risk management, money management, you will still blow your account. Let me say that again, because you probably didn't hear me. You can do everything right in terms of charting and entry and everything. But if you over leverage, risk too much, or you're not properly managing your trades, you can still blow your account. How could that happen? By not knowing how to handle yourself when you lose. You'll go in there and you'll push a button. Okay, you do something wrong. No problem. The average student or trader will say, okay, let me reevaluate. Is the trade still valid? Not, oh, no. I'm right. Let me go in there and do this again. Well, that's imposing your will. You can't do that in the marketplace. Your will is insignificant compared to the market. The market can do whatever the fuck it wants to do. And the people that run it, they make the rules. They change everything. If they want to reprice it to wherever they want to reprice it, you can't change it by your buying and selling pressure horseshit. Your harmonic patterns, your Elliott wave, all that stuff. Your order blocks. I'll throw my shit in the hat too. When there's manual intervention, nothing fucking works. You are all wrecked. Okay? And we're in that category too. We would fall victim in those instances. And there's no way to prevent that. So there's always risk. Always. But what happens if you go through core content and there's other videos? What should you go into next? Personally, I think that you should go through the Market Maker Primer course. So the best case scenario, looking back and mentoring again publicly and all the questions and the things that I saw come up as inquiries, I think the proper order would be 2022 mentorship. Study that first, because that gives you right into the charts. It gives you something that gives you context. What is it you're going to be doing? If you learn everything from my YouTube channel, what's it look like? When it works, what does it look like? This is one interpretation of it. Okay? It's easy. It's straight to the point. And you also see people all around the world making money with it. So there's proof. The second thing is to build understanding and fortify opportunities that can be used in other time frames, not just intraday, by using the core content. So go through all 12 months, core content, study that. And whatever resonates with you, you pull out. Everything that doesn't resonate with you, just ignore it. I don't know why everybody makes a big deal about this, but there are things that are just not going to be pertinent to you as a trader and the style that you're trying to trade. And I don't take any offense to that. I'm practical. But you need to be practical with yourself as a developing student. You got to be realistic and practical with yourself. You're not going to be able to learn this real quick. You're not going to be getting rich real quick. You're not going to be able to tell your boss, fuck off, I just watched this video series, you're done. You're fired. Because that's not what you should be doing, okay? And it makes me think about a video suggestion I saw this morning. I woke up, I was on Twitter. I mean, not Twitter, on YouTube. And I saw it. There was a video that said how to day trade working full time and not get fired. I don't know who did it, but I just saw it. I thought it was funny. But I mean, that's a series I should do. But once you go through 2022, go through core content, and then go through the Market Maker Primer course. Okay, if you do that, I think honestly, that is real good for the technical side. But anywhere in between them, wherever you feel like you need it, you should go through the ends series where it kind of like reminds you of what it is you're doing. That is a mission statement type teaching. It grounds you into thinking, okay, I'm not out here trying to promote millionaire mindset to you go out here and you want to be living the Instagram life. I'm out here trying to help people find a way to get a second income. That's it. And if it works out that you make $200 a week or $250 a week and it's an extra $1,000 a month, you know what, folks, that is, in these times, it's helpful. Because I have a lot of money and it costs me a lot of money when I'm out to the grocery store. And I always think to my wife all the time, like, how are people doing this? It's hard. Like, it's really hard now. And I overpaid a lot for cars this year. And, you know, this house I purchased, I knew I was paying an inflated rate. I don't care. I have the funds to be able to do it, and it doesn't hurt me. But the average person out there, you know, you're maybe being priced out of a house. You may be priced out with the interest rates. Okay. And if you can make an extra $1,000 a month, and I'm not promising that everybody's going to do that, but I firmly believe that it's within the realm of possible for the majority of you that do work diligently towards mastering yourself and controlling risk. And you'll see that these things, they statistically have an edge, but you skew that edge as a trader, that individual that comes into this. So you're going to need to listen to some things to remind you what it is that's going to cause you problems. And you might want to listen to the series I did where if I could go back and tell myself what I know now at 20 years old, because I had to live 2 different lives hiding from a gold digger. And I don't have any shame in saying that. And some of you ladies out there may think, oh, you're a deadbeat asshole. You didn't take care of your kids. My kids were taken care of. My kid, my oldest son, he was taken care of. We had joint custody. But I had to hide a lot of things and live a certain way to keep my gold digging affair, which I was not aware that she was married when I slept with her. And I own it. It's mine. I did it, you know. But you know, these things were a result of me trying to do what you see these Instagrammers do today, these living fast kind of people. And I invited that kind of stuff into my life and not knowing. I was naive, and this woman knew that I had something and she wanted it. And I found myself in a situation where I had brought a person in the world that we didn't sit down and say, hey, let's have a child together. She had a relationship that she was married and a son that I didn't know about. And I fell victim to that situation. And I talked to you through that, and I encourage my own children. I'm actually talking to my sons in all of these videos on YouTube. I'm talking to them. And because I'm pouring my heart out, I'm talking to them with my vision of their faces in my mind as I'm talking to them. It makes it feel like I'm talking to you because it's sincere, number one. 2, it's real. It's real. And if you don't listen to those types of lessons and you do the same things I've done when I was younger, you're going to invite those types of things into your life, and it will wreck all kinds of progress. Like, I think to myself all the time, like, I know how these markets work. And I also know how I work. I know how I self-sabotage. I know how I get a case of the ass where I think nobody's better than me. And I know all of these character flaws. I have all these character flaws like everybody else. But I also have greater disadvantages because I have a mental disorder where I have a chemical imbalance that just will not relent sometimes. And you experienced it, obviously, several times listening to these Twitter spaces where I'm at the mercy of whatever I'm feeling at the moment. And some of you have reported that you have these same things. And it's hard, isn't it? But if you don't have a way to connect with the mentor that's teaching you and know that that's something that, yes, in many ways, it can be viewed as a hindrance or an obstacle. But there's a way through that too. And it's not going to be easy. And for folks that don't have that, if you're not bipolar, you know, and you're just a normal person, you know, I envy that because I don't know what that feels like. But you have an advantage over someone like me. And when I first started teaching on baby pips in 2009, 2010, that social experiment that I introduced, I wanted to see, could I get the same result of other people coming up like I did? And I presented the content and the lessons in the order that I went through discovery. And unfortunately, it's not a matter of me failing. It's just I didn't get that test tube result where someone came out like me. And obviously I went down a dozen different rabbit trails, and the whole idea was how you're going to study ICT and content. But you want to have a study journal. You want to go in with a mindset that you're doing it for a particular reason. You're not going to be distracted. You're not going to spend your time chasing social media entities and worshiping other people. And I'm on the top of that list. Okay. Showing appreciation, that's a respectful thing. Yes. But you don't need to constantly lavish me with love and all that other stuff. You focus on you. And every time you watch a video and every time you study in the charts, you read your mission statement. What is it you're doing? Why are you doing it? And what is that goal end result? Everything you do should be aiming in that direction. If everything you're doing right now is opposed or slight deviation from that direction, you're wasting your fucking time. You're wasting your time because you have to have a course, a direction. You have to know where your bearings are. And you got to constantly work in that direction. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to fall to the wayside because you've done something too soon, rushing to get in there and start pushing buttons and making money. Everybody right now, everybody wants to go out and get funded because they see folks tweeting to me, "Hey, I'm funded now. Hey, I'm getting a payout now." Well, what does that create in weak-minded individuals? And folks, when I say weak-minded, I'm not trying to say you're stupid. I'm not saying you're daft. I'm not saying you're a dense person or a dunce. I'm saying that it's normal for you to want to rush into that. You want to do what everybody else is doing. And if they're doing something that's making money, guess what? Everybody's wanting to do that. But I'm unfortunately that kind of guy that's going to tell you, you're going to have to work before you get there. You're going to have to study a lot. And you're going to have to defer weekend things that you usually do. You're going to have to change your lifestyle and save money, change your spending habits, maybe even remove certain types of friends and possibly family members from your influence, or removing their influence from you. And I had to do that. And it didn't feel right. It didn't feel normal. It felt like I was I felt like I was isolating myself through depression, but these were conscious decisions I made. It wasn't like I reduced my circle of influence because of anxiety, because I had that experience too. When 2001 happened, I ended up having generalized anxiety and developed agoraphobia, which is a fear of being around other people. And it was all based on September 11th, when those buildings and such in New York happened. And everything was a source of fear for me. But I don't have any of that kind of fear, like nothing. Like I'll walk out there in a burning building. I don't give two shits. I ain't worried about nothing now. But that generalized anxiety, that fear, that will creep into you in this trading endeavor faster, and when you're not prepared for it. And it'll completely derail you. It'll take you completely out of the focus. You won't know what it is you're doing, and you'll lose sight of why you're doing it. There's so many folks out there that have started doing this, and because they were not able to master themselves and wrestle their internal demons, these things that are going to manifest themselves.